Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Two Canadians Football Podcast. I'm your host, Matty P.
And I'm your co-host, C Money.
And we are here with our 14th episode.
Here we go. We crossed the unlucky hump 13. Let's bring on number 14.
Let's get straight to the news.
Boop, 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 boop.
Russell Wilson had a shoulder injection.
Beef up those arms a little bit. What exactly is his? Is that why he's playing so poorly this season?
It's a good question to ask.
Yeah, I've been pretty disappointed with how well he's played. Although I don't have him on any team, so it doesn't really affect me. But I did expect a lot more from him so far. Although I do kind of think coaching is part of the issue.
Yeah, I have Russell Wilson on two dynasties, and a little disappointed to get out. A little disappointed to see him kind of struggle out the gate fantasy-wise. I know his team. What are they, 3-2 or 2-3?
Ooh, I'd be surprised if they're 3-2. I think they're 2-3 at best.
So not too bad, but you kind of expected him to cook as soon as he got there in Denver.
Yeah, I definitely expected more right out of the gates.
So I can't put I can't shoulder all of that blame on his shoulder or in his shoulder.
Maybe that's why he needs an injection.
Some of it has to go to Mr. Hackett as well.
Ooh, Wentz just might have got hurt. Looked bad. He's still playing though. The guy's tough.
We got the Thursday nighter here. It's a barn burner.
Oh yeah. This is. I mean, I bet the ratings for this one are going to be through the roof.
Maybe better than last week's 12-9 game.
Whew. Well, this one's 7-3. I guess we've had a touchdown, so that means this one has been better.
Yes, we finally broke the touchdown barrier. It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah. Well, 1.5 anyway, yep.
But back to the news. Russell Wilson, we expect you to play better, at least in the second half of the season. Maybe you need a few more games to click with that offense and Hackett to get his play calling going. Yeah.
If I was the GM there, I'd be really wondering about that. Maybe a first-time head coach shouldn't be having play calling duties, or maybe he should pass those off, something like that. Like, it's not working there, so they gotta change something up. And their offensive line is a little not. They did just lose a good offensive lineman as well, and it was already kind of a scattered bunch at best. So they got to do something with that offense. It's not working.
If we can draw any positives from the Denver Broncos, it's their defense is playing pretty good.
Yeah, the defense, yeah. Definitely.
So going forward, that should provide some easier situations for Russell Wilson going forward. So if you want to pick through the negatives and pull out a positive, I think that's what I would pull out.
It's like Seattle Seahawks moved to Denver.
Oh,
good defense with a porous offensive line, and everyone gives Russ all the credit.
And questionable coaching.
Right, yeah. Funny how those things follow guys.
In other news, Jonathan Taylor was a limited participant at practice today.
Yeah, well, that's good for him. Hopefully for his owners, he gets in there next week.
He's still dealing with an ankle injury. I'm actually hoping the Colts are going to sit him this week. I think you should give him another week's rest, but that's probably partly because I am playing against him in the league and I need a win there. So
yeah, well, I mean, you could take the other angle of I hope they play him and he just does nothing.
Well, I do have Jonathan Taylor on a dynasty, but
I'm
already like planning to play without him. So
okay, yeah. See, there you go. So hopefully, you got to be hoping they play him and your opponent gets like 2 points out of him.
You got any other news you want to talk about, Miller?
Not right now. Everything's kind of just humming along right now. Went to the Bomber game this past weekend. That was fun.
Yeah, we, what was it, 48-11 or something?
Yeah, domination. They absolutely destroyed, it was like they were toying with them, with the Edmonton Elks.
Yeah, we have the whole West number this year. Oh, I hope it continues.
With the win, we clinched home field for the playoffs.
Yeah, for all those local fans of the podcast that live near us, Winnipeg Blue Bombers clinched the West final. That means we get a bye in the playoffs, and we'll play.
And then host the championship.
We'll hope the West final at home, November 13th on a Sunday.
Booyah.
Yeah, I'll be nabbing some tickets tomorrow. They go on sale tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow, eh? Nice, okay.
Yeah. I went to the game last year. I think it was like December 6th. So a November 13th game, I'll be fucking there.
Yeah. I was there last year, too. I was like probably the coldest game I've ever been to. One of two. There was one other one that I went to that was also ridiculously cold. I don't know which
at the
one was
old
worse.
stadium.
Yeah, at the old stadium. Yeah.
On those metal seats.
Oh yeah. This one, even though it was really cold, this one was a little bit more manageable just because of the atmosphere. The stadium is a lot nicer, and yeah. But the old stadium, yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah, I think I know what game you're talking about. I think it was a very important game, if I remember correctly, right?
Right. Well, yeah, it had to have been because it would have been deep in the playoffs. So those are going to always be the the coldest ones.
So yeah, all the Bomber fans listening, come find us November 13th. It sounds like we're both gonna be there. What?
Yeah, on the way to championship number 3.
That would be a dynasty.
Yeah, that would actually completely qualify as a dynasty at that point. Yep.
But anyways, let's get to, before we get to the next segment of Studs and Duds, Miller, you want to shout out the product you have in your hands?
Yes. So this is the beer of the week.
Oh, that's a cool can.
So I'm trying this for the first time. This is the Kilter local brewery. Fruit lupulin. I'm not really sure on the pronunciation on that one. I have to talk to a local expert, but it's a milkshake pale ale, a fun and fruity milkshake pale ale, dry hopped and infused with a burst of tropical fruits, milk, sugar, and vanilla. There you go. Not too bad.
Yeah, let me try some of that.
First time trying it.
Fruit Loops was my favorite cereal growing up.
I had a period where I was definitely a Fruit Loop fan. As a child, I went through the gauntlet of cereals, though. I love cereal growing up.
I like pale ales, and you know what? I kind of like that one.
Yeah, that one's not bad.
It's light.
Bad.
It's
soft.
It reminds you of Fruit Loops a bit.
Yeah.
I almost want to have some Fruit Loops right now. Throw some Lupien in there.
There
Boom.
you go. Fruit Lupulin, Fruit Loops.
But yeah, shout out to the local guys, Kilter.
Yep. Local Winnipeg brewery.
Yeah, love what you're doing.
Yeah, they're one of the locals that are doing really well for themselves. So
yeah,
good for them.
Yeah, keep it up. Keep up the work. For my shout out, I guess we're going to BC here because that's where they're made. American Vintage. It's basically a hard iced tea, basically. So they're a version of Mike's Hard. And 5% lemon. Not too bad.
Surprised it's not stronger, actually. A lot of the iced teas are a little bit more.
Yeah, it's very easy going. Very, very, you drink a bunch of those off to the bathroom, once you break the seal.
Sounds like a summertime beverage.
Getting back to this game here, 7-3 or 7-6 for the Bears. I repeat, the Bears are up by a point
in Chicago
in the fourth quarter.
All right, let's talk some studs and duds.
All right, studs and duds. Let's get to the stud of the week. It's probably got to be Josh Allen at 48 fantasy points.
Yeah, I made that my bold prediction last week, and wouldn't you know it, Josh, you made me look like a genius.
You did say You did clarify 40 plus. I remember the exact conversation. And
Yeah.
lo and behold, he almost hits a 50 burger.
Yeah, I almost said 50 too, but I didn't want to get too ridiculous. So yeah, cheers to that.
Cheers to that, buddy. Damn. Another quarterback, hybrid quarterback, Taysom Hill, responsible for 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, that guy's crazy when he hits, right? Like, you never know when it's going to be because it's not matchup based, that's for sure. You don't go, oh, Taysom Hill at tight end. Looks like he's got a favorable tight end matchup this week. You definitely look at him and just go, you think they're going to run some trick plays this week? Sure. Okay, get him in there. Boom, 4 touchdowns. Next week, try it again. 0 points. So, big up. He's a boomer bust player. 100%.
He is boomer bust,
But the highs are...
but I was in need of a tight end. Cole Kmet, Dalton Schultz, just not doing it for me in a few different leagues. So I did spend 51 of my waiver bucks on a Taysom Hill bid and I got him. So
this past week?
yeah, here's
Nice.
hoping Taysom Hill helps me win that match this week because I can go back to 500 where I haven't been since the season started.
We mocked the guy who bid super high for him in our league. He's sitting there going, "Who's laughing now?"
That's actually who I beat out for the bid by $1. Another stud. Couple of running backs. Nick Chubb, 17 carries, 134 yards, and 2 TDs. Mr. Consistent.
Yeah, Chubb has just been a one-man wrecking crew at the RB position. He's pretty much the Cleveland offense, and then Brissett and Amari Cooper and Kareem Hunt are just ancillary pieces. They just kind of get a few yards here and there, but mostly it's just Chubb. Boom, boom, boom.
I can't quite remember if that's 7 TDs now or 9, but I do know it's one of those figures, and that's pretty astonishing through 5 weeks.
Yeah, no, he's ripping it up.
Leonard Fournette, 56 rushing yards, but he had a rushing touchdown and a reception TD and like 10 catches.
Yeah, like something like 10 catches. Big week for him.
Big week, 30.9 fantasy points in our half PPR league. Gabe Davis goes off for 3 catches.
Yeah, that first one made his day, basically.
Yeah, I think it was a 98-yard touchdown.
Yeah, that's how you start a day.
Yeah, so that was nice for me because I think I have Davis like across 5 leagues.
Yeah, wow,
So-
nice. I have him in 1, but yeah, it was. So when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, sweet! So that means Josh Allen got points."
Yeah, your Josh Allen, Gabe Davis connection there, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't have them in the same league, but,
But separated, right?
yeah, they're separate. Yeah.
And finally, Kelsey, 4 touchdowns, made him look real easy, and about 30 fantasy points.
Yeah, he had that on 25 yards. So minimal yards, but made him count.
On his mom's birthday.
Right. Yeah. I was actually in a huge battle in another league going back and forth with Rob in there, and he had Josh Jacobs, who was also having a really good game, and Kelsey kept scoring. And then Jacobs would rack up a ton of yards for the Raiders going the other way. And I'm like, no, we basically make up the points that I got from the touchdown. And then I get another touchdown from Kelsey. And then Jacobs would come back and rack up a bunch of yards. So it was like, it was back and forth, but it worked out. Kelsey did it for me.
Yeah, thinking back to that game, the last game of the week,
That was a great game, too.
it was a great game. It would have been even greater if McDaniels would have just kicked the field goal, the PAT, I should say, and basically forced his defense to make this game go to overtime, which we all want to see, I'm sure.
Right. That's right. Yeah. They went for the W and missed.
Yeah, a lot of gambling I've noticed through 5 weeks of fourth and short. A lot of gambling and a lot of misses.
Yeah, no, analytics apparently tell you to go for it more often than not, and so now teams are applying those analytical, I guess, answers to the games. And even though the analytics say one thing, it doesn't mean it's going to work, right? You still have to execute. So, yeah, it's changing a lot of games, like how things are run, and less punting, turnovers on downs, and it's interesting. It's fun.
Yeah, so a lot of different studs across the board this week. I'm sure a bunch of your rosters had a bunch of those guys sprinkled on teams. And
Right. Yeah. There was a bunch of guys that all had really big weeks, and then a bunch that did mediocre or nothing.
which leads us to the duds.
Oh, the dude that just tried to return that punt for Chicago just had a huge dud.
Still a 7-6 game, guys.
And he fumbles the punt. Ouch.
Hawkinson, 1 catch for 6 yards.
Bum, bum, bum. I bet Hawkinson owners wish that they could have spread the wealth from the week before. Just like, can I just take off 14 of these points and tack it on next week?
Can I shave some points for future points?
Yeah.
Imagine if you could do that like one time a week.
Them.
Imagine if you could do that like one time in the season.
One. I've oftentimes thought about the forgiveness rule, where every week you're allowed to rotate in one bench player to replace one player on your roster, but everyone's allowed to do it. So every team is allowed one mulligan.
That's actually pretty cool, dude. I think I might incorporate that into one of my leagues next year.
Just
once. Just one time for teams. So ideally, you want to save it for when it really counts, right? Like,
I was thinking just every week you're allowed one.
Oh, see, that might be too much and too hard to maybe keep track of. I like the one time a season. Think about that.
Well, yeah, that sucks for that one team that you do it against then.
But they could do it to you. So if you do save it for like the pivotal game, the championship game or the semifinal, like think about it.
If you save it for playoffs, you'd have to reset it in the playoffs. Just not in the playoffs. Like you couldn't do it in the playoffs.
If you didn't use it in the regular season, you could save it. How about that?
Well, everyone would just save it then.
No, I don't think so. Because there would be some key matches along the way.
Maybe like it would definitely get saved for the very last couple weeks if you're trying to get into the playoffs, or if you just if you're doing good all year, you're just going to save it for the championship.
I don't know. People are eager to spend and they want that instant gratification. So think about that.
Patience, Danielson.
Oh, almost got a Robinson touchdown.
Oh, that would have been good for you after I mocked you in our chat.
I didn't start him in any leagues. He's just a wait and see for me.
Okay, so that would have been more painful then.
It's okay. I still want to see him have success and find the pay dirt. Got shot in the knee twice. And it didn't hit a bone, didn't hit an artery. Smooth exit. And 42 days later, he's starting as the lead back.
That should be his nickname, Smooth Exit.
There it is.
You should have started him. They want to get him a touchdown for the feel-good story.
Yo, I'm officially calling my boy Brian Robinson, a.k.a. 2 shots.
2 shot Smooth Exit.
So congrats, bud.
This one's for you.
Another dud, Cooper Rush. He got the win. He got his team the win against the Super Bowl champs, but 3.98 fantasy points.
So is that really Dudley?
It is in terms of fantasy.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. Man, these Rangers are destroying the Wild tonight. It hurts.
Dalton Schultz played 18 snaps last week, so if you did start him, you got a big fat 0.
Ouch.
They're slowly easing him in. They're slowly easing him into the lineup. I'm actually up against the same guy I'm up against with Jonathan Taylor. He has Dalton Schultz as his starting tight end. So I'm hoping they just...
Is he still recovering from injury?
Yeah, the PCL.
He's okay, so he's just maybe not quite fully back yet.
No, and I guess maybe just using him to block. Maybe,
Oh,
he
wow.
only had 18 snaps last week.
Oh, yeah. So it's just kind of slowly bringing him along.
Christian Kirk, 1.6 fantasy points.
Yeah. That's a stinker. The Jags,
I
kind of disappointing lately.
I like Kirk this week against the Colts again. I think Kirk went off for a touchdown or two in week 2 against the Colts. So I see Trevor Lawrence trying to recapture what they had going on in the early going against a middling Colts team. Nothing special with them.
Colts defense is decent though, but yeah, the offense is looking really bad, and yeah, that can hurt your defense eventually, right?
AJ Dillon, 3.4 fantasy points. The Packers were never in a position of winning by more than a touchdown, so that's when they usually use Dillon a little bit more, when they're up.
Yeah, or short yardage, right? Yeah. Lately they've been just leaning more towards Aaron Jones. I mean, Aaron Jones is the better player, but I thought they were going to try and do more of a split than they have been lately, especially.
Waddle, 3.8 fantasy points.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really blame him. Going down to the third stringer who essentially played the whole game without expecting to even be the starter. 7th round rookie. That's rough. Gonna be tough to trust them. Well, I mean, this week they're playing the Vikings, so if there's any team that is really good at making backup or third string quarterbacks look like Joe Montana, it's the Vikings. They are notorious for letting backups have killer games. Career games, really.
Speaking of the Vikes, do you want to touch on that Vikings-Bears game?
Yeah, sure. It was a pretty exciting game. The Vikings looked like they were just absolutely going to destroy them early. I mean, Chicago started the game with a delay of game or false start. I think it was a delay of game right off the hop. First play. Like, how do you do that? Don't you walk on the field and you're like, okay, we know what we're going to do here? Nope. But yeah, it just kind of spiraled out of control early, and the Vikings got 3 touchdowns and we're up like 21-3. But then in the middle, like, I don't know why the Vikings chose to take the ball first. Typically, you defer if you win the toss, but the Vikings took the ball first. And anyway, so the end of the half, Bears got a score and then started with the ball again. So they got a little momentum in the middle there. The offense didn't have the ball much for the Vikings for quite a bit of time. And finally, the Bears I think they took the lead, and then the Vikings had to come back. And Kirk Cousins has been really good with the fourth quarter comebacks this season. He's got 3 fourth quarter comebacks already on the year, and yeah, they're executing at a really high level when it's crunch time, when they need to, and it looks good. They're running a good, clean fourth quarter game.
Yeah, and this week the Vikings visit the
Miami Dolphins.
The Miami Dolphins. So that should be an interesting game. Maybe. Oh yeah, Bridgewater's on the bench, so it's Skylar Thompson starting, right?
Yes, 7th round rookie. If ever there was a time for Skylar Thompson to have a career game, this is it.
The Vikes are going to play him hard.
Oh yeah, of course they are. Dalvin Cook's first game in Miami, his hometown.
That's a little tidbit I didn't know about.
Yeah, tasty. He's excited too. He's really stoked to be playing at home in front of friends and family.
And Madison is questionable for this game.
Yeah, that kind of just popped up out of nowhere. I didn't know about that until today I saw that.
So all you people listening out there, maybe it would be wise to put Dalvin Cook on your daily lineup.
Yeah, if you have Dalvin, you're probably playing him every week, but yeah.
I mean your DraftKings lineup.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Daily fantasy.
He's
right,
coming home. Madison might not play.
Big, yep.
So he might
He's going to be looking for
he might just get all the touches.
A big game. Yeah, he's going to want to have that. And it's funny too because James Cook played Miami 2 weeks ago. So he actually got a home game first before his brother did.
That's another little tidbit I did not know.
Yeah.
Shout out to James Cook. He got his first touchdown last week.
Yeah, good for little Dalvin.
Shall we get to our bold sports prediction?
All right. Yeah, let's do it. Bold.
Bold.
Boom, boom. All right.
You going first, Miller, or you want me to go?
You can go.
Okay, I'm going NBA here because me and Miller just drafted our 12-team NBA squads.
Fantasy basketball last night.
Yeah, fantasy basketball. Basketball is getting going next Tuesday.
Next next week. I'm not sure what day.
So we're really stoked about that. I'm stoked for the Raptors this season. We saw a lot of growth last year.
Yeah, they were a lot better than I expected them to be last year. They surprised. Scott having a rookie of the year, Scotty Barnes. That helps.
They hit on that pick.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and so I'm feeling basketball. This is a very exciting time of the year with baseball, hockey, basketball.
Yeah, it's all right now.
Football.
This is busy, the busiest time of year. It's hard to run all the fantasy, run all your fantasy leagues.
Yes,
this time of year.
I was telling the roommate the other day. I'll shout out to Mr. Kaplan, aka Cash Wolf, aka Penguin. I was telling him the other day, I have no more drafts for the rest of the year. I'm kind of sad. No more extensive research. No more using my shitty spreadsheets. I don't know.
You should start using the good spreadsheets, by the way.
Yeah. If anybody's out there and they want to be a part of this team, we're looking for a third member. So.
Spreadsheet manager.
So yeah, sticking to NBA here, I'm going to say Devin Booker for the Suns finishes as a top 3 NBA fantasy player at the end of the season.
Oh, okay. You backed off a little, eh? Okay. That's still bold. So I give you. We'll see. I guess I do like some Devin Booker. I had him a couple years ago when I went. It was my first year of fantasy basketball, and I lost my first matchup of the year, and then went on to go undefeated the rest of the season. Miraculous. I have no idea how I managed that.
Did you win that year?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I went undefeated all the way the rest of the year after the first loss.
So you had one loss on the year?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a pretty good season there.
It was amazing. Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing, but it worked out.
Welcome to NBA.
Damian Lillard was the man that season. And Booker. I had Booker too, and Gobert. Anyway, so yeah, okay, that's a nice prediction. I'm gonna, since we're going with that, I'll stick with the basketball theme too. What do I think? I mean, I got Cat with my first pick, and I overdrafted him at pick number 3, maybe a little. We'll see.
Yeah, I noticed you reach for Curry on the board, Embiid, Tatum, like a lot of studs right there, but you're going with your gut. You are a T-Wolves fan, and I can definitely understand that.
Yeah, I just think that the one thing that Cat was lacking in his game and that hurt the Timberwolves was his defensive game. Rim protection was not their forte, so they bring in Gobert, probably the best rim protector in the whole NBA, and I'm hoping that unlocks Cat and allows him to be his best version of himself this season. And I'll say that Cat finishes as a top 3 player.
Are you serious? Are you freaking with me right now?
I figured I might as well challenge your bold prediction with my own. So, I mean, technically, they could both finish in the top 3.
So let me get this straight. Who are you saying is going to finish as a top 3 NBA fantasy player at the end of the season?
Cat. Karl Anthony Towns.
And I myself am saying Devin Booker is going to finish as a top 3.
So then we just leave that number 1 spot open for Jokic again. And then
very interesting, Miller. I guess I'll see you in my league's final.
Yeah, well, we'll see, I guess. There's a few other people that might have something to say about that. Shout out Russ.
Oh, Russell Friesen. You won it last year, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, I think so, yep.
Yeah. I'm in so many leagues, I forget the winners. If they're not me, I'll forget it.
If it ain't me, I ain't remembering.
No. 8 football leagues, 2 baseball leagues, basketball league, and don't even get me started on the hockey leagues.
Yeah, hockey. Just I'm kind of I'm worried about my team this year in hockey. I don't know. We'll see. It's still super early, so whatever. We'll see.
I don't know. I think you have some good players on that squad.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think you'll be fine. But Randy's team that you were just talking about with Cale Makar, McKinnon,
it's very stacked. Makar, McKinnon,
Shesterkin.
Shesterkin. Who else did he have?
That's 3 first rounders right there.
DeBrincat.
DeBrincat, the third
he's
round.
Good. Yeah. No, he's got a really good team.
So shout out to Randy's fantasy hockey team.
Yeah. Hopefully you lose this week and good luck the rest of the time.
Yeah, good. Hopefully you lose this week. Good luck the rest of the way, unless you play Miller again.
All right.
Well, I might have to put a little asterisk beside the notes regarding this episode because
talk a lot of other stuff.
Our bold sports predictions kind of
long term
entail and intertwined with each other.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to look back at this in 6 months or next year, 2023.
Yeah, should replay it at the end of the fantasy basketball season and be like, listen to our takes.
Imagine if they both land top 3.
That would be crazy. Cool. That would be impressive, actually.
Yeah, then we're on to something in our with our basketball knowledge here. Yeah, but
be excellent to each other.
Be excellent to each other, guys. Smoke some pot. It's good for you.
Party on.
Party on. Don't party too hard. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And we'll see you next